Madrid's Rio Manzanares has always been important for the city's residents, from the royal family to industrial workers, and used to be a significant meeting site for Madrid's population, even to swim and wash. However, in the mid-20th century, this drastically changed. In the 1940s, the river was channelized. In 1955, 7 dams were constructed, increasing the river's depth and making its flow more consistent. In the 1970s, the M30 inner-city ring road was constructed along the riverbank, creating traffic jams in the area. The pedestrian connection to the river was almost entirely destroyed, and the riverbanks could no longer be used as a public space. As a result of these modifications, the water quality and biodiversity decreased drastically. Sewage spilled into the river during heavy rain events, causing elevated contamination levels. All of these developments resulted in strong negative connotations with the river and its surroundings among Madrid's residents. Finally, the City Council took action to create a plan to restore the area between 2004 to 2007. They began by tunneling the M30 to reduce automobile traffic and free up space around the river. Meanwhile, the riverbanks were greened and turned into an urban park connected to Plaza España in the center, creating a large network of urban green spaces with pedestrian and bike-friendly paths. This made the space not only accessible once again, but also enjoyable for recreation. In 2016, the riverbed was renaturalized by lifting the floodgates of the dams, allowing the river to return to its natural braided state and welcoming back much of the biodiversity that had been lost. With this project, the city was able to reclaim almost 3,000 hectares for public space and create an ecological green corridor.
These so-called ecosystem services are divided into 4 groups. The first group consists of providing services, such as the provision of water, food, wood, or other resources. The second one are regulating services, for example, climate mitigation and urban resilience by reducing air pollution through greening and less traffic. Thirdly, cultural services are considered as adding recreational, aesthetic, or educational values to increase the quality of life in the city and humans' well-being and create green spaces for recreation. Lastly, the supporting services describe habitat for animals, increase of biodiversity, or soil formation. With the implementation of this project, the city of Madrid is addressing certain goals. New access to green spaces is gained on both sides of Manzanares and therefore connect those new spaces with already existing ones in different districts between the center and the south and west. By involving residents in the implementation process through public participation, the project is supposed to be adapted to specific needs of the neighborhood to create spaces for recreation, sports, or children. Moreover, they are addressing to improve the water quality of the river, increase biodiversity, and reduce air pollution. Through the tunneling of the ring road M30, car traffic in the city is reduced to increase sustainable mobility and free space for pedestrians and bikers. Even if this has been a very complex and expensive project, it still adds a lot of value and the city is willing to take on these challenges.
Despite its outcome, environmentalists and residents are often criticizing El Río for several reasons. Firstly, political opposition and ecological groups claim that the project lacked an environmental evaluation report and denounced it to the municipal and European judicial courts. Moreover, the project lacked a detailed plan for participatory action, and only little information was given about responsible institutions and administrations for the implementation. Neither future perspectives are quite clear, even when considering crucial decisions regarding urban space, mobility, and financial costs. On a more ecological side, people also argue the poor water conditions of the river or the lack of water during hot summers. Environmental organizations raise questions if the tunneling of cars, including specific ventilation systems, might actually damage the newly planted trees. And lastly, users mainly criticize the use of the walking pathway being shared with bikes. Instead, they demand a segregated biking lane.